I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Would everybody please stand for pledge? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you please note all board members and admins present? And then, board, you have agenda in front of you. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll support. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Consent agenda. Approval of meetings from the committee of the whole meeting dated June 1st, 2026. Approval of accounts payable in the amount of $615,054.93 for the month of May 2026. The approval of the treasurer's report dated May 31st, 2026 for the balance of $6,770,870.26. Approval of new hires and resignations.
Alright, looks like we got Elaine Bushrup. Is that how you say that, Jenny? No idea. Okay, she's resigning. Christina Bennard and James Chesney are all resigning. I do believe Frank has some jobs posted with the study role. And then we have some new hires. So we have Anna Krishner. She's going to be teaching first grade, so she's taking the spot of Delaney. Oh my God. Becker, thank you. Wow. Delaney took a job in Centerville as she is moving to Constantine. So Sarah Hendricks. She's going to do ECA speech pathology. Amy Simpson, one of the school custodians that we hired, and then Madison Van Beck is taking the place of Julie Nope, teaching fourth grade.
Thank you. I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. I'll support.
Roll call vote, please.
Corsi,
Did you say Corsi?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yep.
Shoup,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Reports, we have community inputs. You're next, so you don't have to go for that. And then, Galesburg City Council, Tony Zipkin. I don't know, can you turn that on?
No, there's some people
They're all online.
Yeah, oh, okay. Not much new as far as the city. I mean, it's Gary Galesburg Days this Saturday. I believe the public hearing regarding the development was today, or is today, around the same time right now, if I remember correctly. I haven't heard from whether or not it got approved from the state or county yet. I'm assuming if it's made it this far, it probably has. I don't see them turning it down at this point. We've already made it this far. And if that's the case, their plan is to break ground in the summer. To get back about how well presented graduation was this year to the council. So everyone was glad with that. The council was pretty quiet this last meeting as well.
Beautiful. I did talk to Lindsay just in like our board update or whatever on Fridays. That like with the approval of the transportation building, depending on where they choose to locate that, like maybe some partnerships with the city for that new plat. If we do it in the location it's at now, like, talk to you guys or the builders, and we don't want to do something and create a problem for however that plat's designed.
Right now, I do know like the plans have already been submitted and approved. They would have to go through different approvals. Right now, as I might have mentioned last time, instead of creating a new crosswalk, they're going to redo the two that are there currently, one at the end of Poland Street and the one that's currently across from the primary, like directly in front of it. So their plan right now is opposed to creating a new one, because they wanted to create a new one initially, closer to like kind of in between those two. We thought it made more sense to redo those two if they could, because what their plan is to, they'll redo all the striping, redo the curbing, but they're also going to put in flashy pedestrian signs that you press the button for crossing at those crosswalks.
Because I know that it's just like for your guys' awareness, that is one of the locations that they're looking at for the transportation department is relatively close to where it's at now. And then the high school is the other one.
Oh, so either keep this area or essentially by the primary school where it is now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so nothing's set in stone to take back for where you guys are planning on building that yet?
Soon.
Soon. That's all I got.
Thank you, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Superintendent upgrade.
Well, we just, if you want to take a look up there, Amy and I are going to just talk a little bit about this is data. I need to stand there.
Okay.
All right. So people can hear me.
Recorded. Yeah, sorry.
We just want to show you some highlights that we've had this year, and then some things that we know we need to work on. Amy, do you want to explain this?
Sure.
So these will all be based off of NWEA. So that's our growth measurement that we've used for quite some time, and that we want to take a little bit of a bigger dive into over the next few years.
So in just a second, we're going to show you some highlights and then some areas where we've recognized that we have some opportunities for growth moving into next year. So as you see the next couple of slides, we're going to show you growth percentile. So when we give the NWEA test, we give it 3 times a year. We can pull growth data or we can pull achievement data. We pull both, but we thought it might be most interesting for you guys to see overall growth from the start of the school year to the end of the school year. So as you look at the numbers, just so that you know, typical growth is somewhere between the 41st and 60th percentile. And when we say typical growth, that's what we would expect a student to do over the course of one school year. Above average growth is anywhere from, 60 on up. High growth, 81st percentile to 99th percentile. So just so you have kind of an idea. So as we look at this, we like to look at the 50th percentile. I know it gives a range up there, but if you think about it, 50th percentile is what we would expect kids to do over the course of a year. So 50th percentile means they're achieving where they need to achieve and or growing as much as they need to grow, if that makes sense.
Here.
So then on the next slide, and Lindsay may have already shown this to you guys, but she presented this at our end of school year celebration ceremony, some of this. And so these are some of our highlights. If you look at grade 2, grade 3, grade 5 for math, we had some pretty high growth percentiles there. So that was amazing to see. So that means, and these are averages. So we also, obviously, for us, we break this down and we look student by student, of course. But so grade 2, super high growth. Well, all 3 of those are. I'll let you talk about the elementary reading, because that's your goal.
Yep. And then you can also see, like Amy said, we shoot for that 50th percentile, but we know that the kids who need to grow more than one, basically grade level, have to be above that 60th percentile in order to catch up. So grades 1, 2, 3, and 4 for reading all did that. So that was huge for the primary school this year.
Another highlight you'll see up there, grade 7 reading, the average growth was at the 61st percentile. And then remember too that this is the first year that we've expanded this assessment into the high school. So we have grades 9 and 10 also taking it. And they did, quite well in mathematics, above the 50th percentile. So these are some of the highlights, not all, but we thought these were important to share with you. And then we also have on the next slide here a few spots that we'll just be digging into a little bit further next year. And in my new role as the MTSS director, I'll be taking the lead on some of this as far as kind of digging into, curriculum, instruction, what our supports look like, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 at these grade levels next year. So for math, if you look at kindergarten and first grade, we're identifying, the need for some continued support there, possibly some, further interventions for students for mathematics. 8th grade as well. If you do, I don't know if you guys remember, it's just a reminder for 8th grade, that was the group that we had Erica Root in there at the beginning of the year. She moved up to the high school to teach ELA. And we had Brian George in there for a short period of time, and then Peyton Lewis, who was an intern in Sean's building, took over. So 8th grade did have a lot of change this year with who was instructing as well. But this will be really important information for us to know as they move into 9th grade next year as well. So we can work on what we need to do to get those kiddos caught up.
Thank you for that extra information.
Of course.
And then you can just see our kindergarten reading for NWEA was only at the 35th percentile. So obviously something we'll take a look at when those kids are in first grade.
Gotcha. Was 4th grade missing from that?
Yeah, just
Not missing, just didn't
Oh,
make
yeah,
the highlights or
Didn't make the highlight
opportunities.
Not the little later, just cruising along, right?
They are cruising along, yep. You guys have any other questions about any of that?
Thank you guys. Next up we have the budget hearing, general fund budgets. Philip?
Good. How you all doing?
You tell us.
What's that?
You tell us.
You want this, sir? You want this off? Do I have this somewhere? Should have it. Somewhere.
Should we have to know?
Keep going.
It was actually separate, wasn't it?
Was it separate?
I think it was separate. I may be lying.
Should look like this, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, we all have it.
Well, you know what, Philip, you just go ahead and do you. I'll just start talking.
Look at.
This is very similar to what was presented at the committee of the whole meeting. There's maybe one new slide and one change to the overall budget. But we'll start with that final budget for 25-26. And I don't believe there was any changes in it from the committee of the whole meeting, but just to review, since this is the budget hearing, this is the final budget change since the revised budget was approved in mid-December. And we're budgeting for a shortfall, expenditures exceeding revenues of about $309,000. That's about $165,000 change from the revised budget. So revenues are going up $525,000. Expenses, however, are going up $690,000. So, yeah, the biggest changes in revenue, other than some grant money coming, it's coming in and going out. Biggest changes on the revenue side had to do with K-RESA millage revenue. Got additional enhancement millage revenue and additional special ed millage revenue. That's just due to not having the precise numbers at the time the revised budget was put together. A little bit more in preschool and daycare tuition, that's good, and investment earnings as well. On the expenditure side, there's several items. There was some additional wages paid out to the GAEA members in the form of a bonus. Substitute teacher costs, a lot of times has to do with medical leaves, leaves for maternity leave and that kind of thing. We had budget for the bond election costs, so we had 2 elections that we have costs that we need to pay for. Another big one was maintenance costs. So we did have custodians who became qualified for health insurance subsidy. And so that had to be budgeted for, in addition to, if you recall, we had a lot of snow this past winter, so there was a lot of costs related to snow removal. We're also budgeting about $90,000 for tech devices. This is kind of more of a timing issue. It's a purchase that we would have made in the next fiscal year 27, but because prices were going up so dramatically, we bumped up that purchase, we sped up that purchase, and so we're budgeting for that in fiscal 26. So overall, that puts the fund balance at around 12% of budgeted expenditures. Yeah. Are there any questions about final budget? Sorry? What's that?
I said that's 11.6.
11.6.
Fair enough.
Rounding up. Any other questions? 25, 26 budget?
Just for everybody's awareness, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Lindsay said Friday, I think we got $500 credit for the snow removal. So thank you.
Oh. You know about that? Stone removal?
No.
Snow removal.
Small
Oh,
as
no,
small as
I think it was possibly $500?
That's what she just said.
Okay. I was hoping for more, but
Oh,
we'll take it.
maybe it's more.
Any other questions, comments?
I wasn't keeping an exact track, but it was well over 100. Probably closer to 125. It's big, which is why I raised the issue
Yeah.
of whether we're getting our money's worth, which apparently we weren't.
Right.
According to this, if I read total credited per school, the total is actually $4,966.68. So
This is the,
Thank you.
if you recall, there was an issue with them getting a little too aggressive with
when they're applying that
sidewalk shoveling when it was just kind of
That's right.
less than the 2 inches. And so, Frank and Lindsay met with the company and they said, yeah, we'll give you a credit for us next year.
Beautiful.
And then I think they'll be a little more,
Aware.
aware of when to remove snow and when not to. So the next slide, we went over this at the committee of the whole meeting, but again, this is just kind of an FYI, more of a for your information type of slide. It doesn't really relate directly to next year's budget, but the school aid fund as a whole for the state, part of the appropriations out of that fund go towards the cost of community colleges and higher ed. Is there any way to rotate those or not?
I'm working on it.
I just don't want people to get a.
Well, we all
Everybody's
know.
got
Yeah.
it in front of them.
So $1.3 billion came out of the school aid fund this past fiscal year, went towards covering the cost of community colleges and higher education. And so what all this slide does is kind of show the trend over time. And the proposed budgets for next year are still in that same range. The governor's proposing more like $1.6 billion to come out. So, just an FYI that those numbers have increased dramatically over the last 10 years. And then kind of what that estimated impact would be if those funds were to stay in the school aid fund directed towards K-12 districts, be about $1 million a year for a school district like GA. The next slide, again, kind of in that just for your information category, trendy, it's the trend line showing what percentage of state and local revenues the foundation allowance, which is the unrestricted portion of our state funding, what percentage of the total that foundation allowance makes up. You can see, back at the start of Proposal A, it was close to 100%. Now it's more like 67%, which means that other third is restricted funding, it's grant funding. You can't just do anything you want with it based on the needs of your students. So that is interesting information. And then the next slide, we get into the next year's budget. And speaking of unrestricted funding, so this slide shows these two graphs that really are the heart of our unrestricted funding. On the left-hand side is our pupil count over time, and the right-hand side is the change in the foundation allowance over time. So you can see our pupil count has fluctuated over the last 10 years. We had, the COVID time period is where you see the kind of the bigger dip there and kind of in the middle of that graph. On the far right side, we have what's budgeted, what we're using in our budget for next year. Of course, we don't know precisely what that number is going to be until mid-October into November. But we're budgeting at 1,040, which is where we're at fall count of 2025. Our spring count was higher than that. It was at 1,061. So, you could make the argument maybe you should budget 1,061. I think we just want to be a little bit more conservative, a little safer than that. Again, we don't know precisely what it's going to be, but we're using 1,040. For the foundation allowance, we're using 10,300, which is a $250 increase, and that's a number we don't know either because the state hasn't finished the school aid fund budget, hasn't finalized that. But all three proposals, the governor and House and Senate, they all use that $250. So we have some assurance there that that's going to be in the ballpark. The next slide just kind of continues on and kind of repeats some of that budget assumption information. One of the ones that I haven't yet talked about is the retirement rate. So what the school district pays into the state pension system. That varies, but on average, it's been in kind of the 30 to about the 30% range. It's coming down a little bit because portions of the pension system are now fully funded. They don't have that unfunded liability. And so the state is able to ratchet back on what employers have to pay into that system on behalf of the employees. So about 1.5% reduction in the overall retirement rate. That saves us about $83,000. We also know the contract has been settled for next year for the GAEA, so we know there's going to be a step increase and then 3% on Schedule A. And we know that that's going to cost about $334,000. So those are some big assumptions that we're using in next year's budget. This next slide, I think I did not have included at the committee of the whole meeting. It's been a part of the budget presentation for the last 3 years or so, 4 years probably. This has to do with the operating millage that the school district is permitted to levy. This is levied on non-household, non-principal residence property, non-farm property. that because of what's called the Headley reduction, we're not able to levy the full 18 mills, which is what the law would permit us to levy and what in the past voters have approved. So when property values increase faster than an inflation index, then our levy is automatically reduced. So it's reduced again for this coming year. It's going to be 17.8813 mils instead of the 18 mils. You can see the impact there. The revenue impact is about $14,000 reduction in revenues. And to get back to that 18 mils is going to require voter approval. And our current levy expires in 2033. We can put it on the ballot sooner than that. And the way that can look is we can take different forms. We can ask voters to approve 18 mils. We can ask voters to approve more than 18 mils. And that gives us some buffer against that heavily reduction going forward. But we're only permitted to levy 18 mils. That's the maximum. Any questions about?
Are you saying that if the full 18 mils was put on a ballot and approved, that it would override Headley?
Yes, it would override the Headley. That would be a Headley override. But that's the only way to override the Headley reduction is for voters to approve it. Otherwise, it's a permanent reduction in your millage.
Do you see very many schools take this to the ballot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they all do eventually. And again, some approach it in different ways. Some of them say, "Hey, let's go for 20 mils or 22 mils," and that way they're insulated from those future reductions. So if there is a Headley reduction in the future, or then you go from, say, voters have approved 20, you go from 20 to 19.5. Well, then you can still levy 18 because you're still.
So you can put on the ballot for it to go above
You
18.
can, yep.
And then when you see these go on the ballot, are they often pretty easy yes? Because it doesn't affect a lot of the households, or?
It's affecting just businesses in our area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a tax on households, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. It probably varies. There probably are cases where you need a couple of votes. Some districts do not wait until the last possible vote before the millage expires, just to give a little bit of buffer, just in case you do get a no vote, you're able to go back out.
Okay.
What is the least, because obviously it depends on when you put it on a ballot, what else is running on the ballot to what we pay.
Yeah.
So what is usually the range to put something on the ballot, or cost?
Depends on how many.
Well, I know,
Oh,
but
the cost? This past time, the bond vote cost about, I think about $11,000. Can't remember what else was on the ballot.
One other thing, the Harry said.
One other thing.
Well, depending on,
Yeah, so the more that's on, the more that cost is shared. But yeah, this past time I think it was $11,000 in that range.
A November ballot would be cheaper.
correct.
Right. Other questions about this Headley reduction? Okay, we'll kind of get into the next year's budget then, 26-27. And again, we don't know what our count is, we don't know what the state's budget is, so some of this is our best estimates. Obviously, a lot of changes, you can see them over to the right. I won't go through them all. There is some of the big items on the revenue side. We've talked about the foundation allowance, the special education state funds, $220,000. Just as a reminder, that's that kind of revenue that lags behind our increases in costs. So this is that $220,000 is that catch-up adjustment in revenues. Pay-Reese's special ed millage. That just has to do with when our special ed costs go up. So too does that millage revenue that's levied countywide. The 27L4 revenue, the minus 95,000, that was a one-time revenue that we received in 25-26, so it's coming out of the budget. So all of those things combined, including grant revenue, that kind of thing, revenues are only increasing, less than $30,000. On the expense side of things, we talked about the step increase and the 3% increase on wages. There's assumptions in there about other wage increases, retirements and resignations. So that minus 190,000, where we have staff that have submitted a resignation, that a lot of times will impact the following year budget because we might be hiring someone with less experience who's lower on the scale. There's the virtual program director cost. This is the cost, wages and benefits over and above what we believe we can pay for through the 31A grant, so that's 32,000. We are budgeting, we're assuming some cost savings in the transportation department by moving to a different provider. That item, bus purchase, this is the new item that we did not have included in the committee of the whole, the budget that we reviewed at the committee of the whole meeting. So Lindsay and I had spoken, and we have 3 buses that are red tagged. Bus 25, 26, and 27. They're all either 2005 or 2006 buses. They cannot be used to transport kids any longer. So we need to replace buses. So originally we thought we were going to buy 1 bus using the bond funds. We really need to purchase 2 buses. So this cost of $144,000 would be the cost for a new 77-passenger bus. Cost of a 2-year-old used bus is less than $100,000, and that we would have included in the budget out of the capital projects fund, the bond funds. We pay for that.
So when I talked to Lindsay on Friday, she talks about, this is supposed to be on our agenda to talk about the buses or, yeah. But she said that we need to purchase 2 or 3, like were the options. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this would just be the cost of 1 bus, and then the other bus would be out of the capital projects funds. If there is another bus that would need to be purchased, what we could do is wait to see how things shape up in October, see where the count is, see where the final state budget is at. Essentially just step back and say, okay, what does our general fund budget look like now? Can we afford another bus out of the general fund? Do we need to finance it over time to spread out that cost?
Well, she also mentioned we had approved to take $50,000 every year, right, and set aside for a new bus, and we were supposed to do that this year, but because we have to purchase these buses, then we're not. So that's kind of already credited towards that.
Yeah, that's right. And so this list of changes in expenses, what we reviewed at the committee of the whole meeting, included that additional $50,000 that was going to be transferred out of the general fund into that capital projects fund for the ultimate bus purchase, right? So since we have the whole cost of a new bus in here, we didn't feel like we could also include a $50,000 transfer out. That would put us in a shortfall situation for this original budget. Doesn't mean we can't do that. Once we kind of step back and see what the shape of the budget is, see what student count is, we can still do that in a revised budget. But for this one, it's just, there is a $50,000 transfer, but it's really aimed at that ultimate turf replacement, kind of what we were thinking about for that.
And you said this is a 77-passenger bus, and we're staying with diesel, or is that going to gas?
That's a diesel.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's And I don't know if all the specs information was included in the packet or not, but it's same kind of specs that we have been purchasing, so it's pretty much lined up with the same kind of buses that we've been getting.
Well, right now we have a mix of gas and diesel buses.
Yeah, I think we have a couple of gas.
And we got used it.
Um,
We were
We
trying to get away from that.
Yeah, and then
We're trying to get to the gas.
No, we weren't trying to get rid of gas.
to be honest, I don't remember why the district bought gas buses. It was kind of during that COVID period of time. I don't know if the
We never got.
was that they were easier to get or
We didn't.
what.
We weren't able to get gas buses then. That we were planning on getting gas
Okay.
buses, but then we
Yeah.
bought those ones. I think that's the part of the used ones. I think it was because of mechanic stuff and cost or whatever.
Yeah, well, there
And
is
the
the
whole-
mechanics to work on, diesel mechanics or different type of mechanic. So
I
they
think there was
Yeah.
mechanical reasons.
Well, the whole bus conversation is gonna be later in our meeting. I don't want to totally sidetrack
Sure,
here.
But the cost of that bus is included, so it would not be financed. It would just be purchased outright.
Beautiful.
So there would be no interest costs associated with that. Any questions? This puts fund balance at about 12% of budgeted expenses. Any questions about the proposed budget, general fund budget?
Yeah, actually, just one. Could you refresh me on the tech devices, because I know we spent more
Yeah.
this year.
So
Just a quick refresh.
that's showing up as a reduction in expenses because, we made the purchase in
Oh, I was looking at it
25-26, so yeah,
I'm good.
yeah.
I was looking at it wrong, sorry.
There's-
We did this year.
Yeah, I was thinking it was, yep. I was
Yeah.
reading.
That was a
it
good
as we were
refresher for all of
speaking.
us.
Okay, the next slide is just that trend line, that graph that shows where fund balance has been over the last 10 years or so. Following that is the food service fund budget. We do have a final budget for 25-26. We need to make some adjustments there, and then also the original budget for next year. You can see it there. The bottom line is very, very much in that break-even position. The final budget for 25-26 budgeted a small surplus of about 18,000, putting the fund balance at about that 29% point. The same for next year, not anticipating any dramatic changes there. I think our equipment is looking good, so we're not budgeting for any big equipment replacements at this point. The next slide shows that student and school activity fund. We don't have to amend the 25-26 budget. Still looking good. And we're budgeting the same thing for 26-27. Money tends to come in and the money tends to go out. It can obviously vary depending on the timing of purchases, but yeah. The last slide, again, is the kind of the millage resolution. And we talked about the operating millage, which is kind of the top half there, 17.8813 mils levied on the 119 million. Down below that is the debt levy, and this breaks down the remaining bond issuances, the outstanding debt. We've got 2016, 2022, and now 2026. And we're levying 6.4 mils, which is the same as the year before, in order to generate revenue to make the debt service payments. Any questions about anything on that resolution? Okay, I think that's the last slide.
Thank you, Philip.
You bet.
Okay. Next up, we have business items for discussion, middle school elective proposal.
All right, if you guys remember, this past year, we started a bunch of new electives at the middle school. Overall feedback from the kids, they really, really enjoyed them. I know some of you guys had the opportunity to come watch our middle school play, and so that was obviously a result of the Curtain Up elective. Because some of those electives were multi-grade level, so like 7th graders could be in with 8th graders, we're actually going to do it a little bit different this coming year, and they'll be available for 6th, 7th, and 8th. But because of that, I did have to ask the teachers to kind of tweak the content, because if you're like a 7th grade student taking Curtain Up again next year as an 8th grade student, we didn't want it to be the exact same content. So I did ask teachers to submit elective proposals. Some of the electives are the same electives, but the content has been updated. Some of the electives are brand new electives. So brand new for next year is the Intro to Weight Training, Intro to Speed and Agility. Math in the Real World is a new one. Sports and Society, the Middle School Writing Workshop, and Journalism. Those are all brand new for next year. Returning to the list is Michigan History, Creative Writing, and Curtain Up. So those were the 3 that just the content of the course had to be updated a little bit. Kids do have the opportunity to switch electives each quarter. However, we are also playing around with letting some kids want to take the Curtain Up theater class for a semester or even the whole school year. So we're kind of playing around with how to make that work in the schedule. But most of them will just be a quarter. I won't be able to make it in July I know you guys will do them again to make a decision in July, so I won't be able to make it to that board meeting. Does anyone have any questions about any of those electives?
Give me a rough idea of what math in the real world means. What's it going to cover, I guess is what I'm...
Okay, so actually I'm going to turn to that. So some unit topics that she has. So if you think of ratios in real life, so rather than just understanding the numbers behind it, really thinking about how do we compare. So for example, if I go to the grocery store and I see I can get this many ounces for this price or this many ounces for this price, teaching kids how to figure out which one's actually the better buy. Because sometimes buying the bigger amount, you think it's going to be a better buy, and it's actually not. If the smaller size is on sale, for example.
You're absolutely right.
So that's just one example. She's got a lot of different things that I thought sounded pretty cool. So some things like travel planning even, calculating how to plan travel and what the costs are going to be. Just some measurement and design, so floor plans, scale drawings, things like that. So to just be totally honest, it's some of the super fun stuff that we don't always feel like we have the time to do or dig into as deeply into our regular math classes because we're trying to cover so much content. So this will be an opportunity for her to do some more units that will be a little bit more. She can dig into the real world application a little bit more. Does that make sense?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, good.
So not to,
There's a cool handout in there about it too.
the difference between the middle school writing workshop and creative writing.
So actually the creative writing is, for lack of a better, it's a little more on the creative side, whereas the writing workshop is actually, they're going to be breaking down and doing all the different types of narrative writing. So again, when you think about in an ideal situation, we'd be able to have kids have a reading class and a writing class. So we are recognizing at the middle school the need for a little bit more specific writing focus. We've listened to some feedback from the high school and just thinking about, that senior paper being the end goal and what's it going to take to get kids there. Solid writing program and writing focus happening at the primary. So these were some ideas that we had for how to get more of a writing focus while still during their ELA class still being able to focus on all the reading strategies. So we're trying to get creative with how we fit in all the things, if that makes sense.
Next step.
Are they gonna like work on critical thinking when it comes to that writing part? Because that's the part that gets missed.
Yes.
By the time you do the HEDA project, critical reading and critical thinking is what roadblocks.
Yep,
So-
absolutely. Yep, and I think this.
No, yeah, I'm just looking.
Sorry, I lost the spot here, but I think it details. So this one is starting on page 41. So we've got like narrative writing, some creative writing, possibly poetry, journalism, media writing, persuasive, argument writing.
Yeah, I went through it with looking for
publishing.
critical thinking. So it was 2 words. So.
Yep.
I missed the word critical thinking.
That's okay. No, good
It
question.
was a lot to skim then.
I know, that's why I've been sitting here.
I'm kind of excited to, this journalism course is one of our new teachers, Jillian Hagan, was really passionate about this one. And her idea then is to have the kids in that class doing like a school-wide newspaper. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's so cute.
So yeah, some cool, fun things happening.
That would help with like yearbook when they get to high school.
Yeah.
Just for Gary, I watched an episode of Dutton Ranch the other day where Beth informed Carter of all of the reasons why a rancher would need to take algebra. It's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Oh, I might have to watch that episode.
Yeah.
It's about a minute and 45 seconds of it. That's it.
Oh, okay.
It's not the whole episode is great. It's real quick.
That's relatable to hear.
Sorry.
Okay. Any other questions or?
I'm just excited about this for our students. Like it just.
Yeah, we were working on just kind of taking what we did last year and just expanding on it. It's been popular with the kids, I think is a good way to say it. And fun for the teachers too.
That's
You
good.
know? Mm-hmm.
Gives them all a little fresh blood.
Yeah.
What we hear the most when we interview seniors for the scholarship is, I wish there were more options of different classes and stuff. So getting started early is fantastic.
Well, it's nice that this is fun for the teachers too, because it was really exciting last year seeing how excited of hearing how excited they were about doing these. So you don't always get to hear that.
Yep. Yeah, they've had fun with it.
Okay, next up we have high school programs of study.
No, I talked with Teresa today, so I'm gonna like fumble my way through this. So I don't know how much, has she already talked to you guys about it? Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So just a reminder then, the non-CTE work-based learning sounds like GA is just planning to do their own version of work-based learning. And then the honors ELA, honors social studies criteria is just following suit with what we're already doing for math. So just having some criteria that kids have to meet before we put them into those honors courses. That's just my quick version.
Any questions on that? No? Okay, perfect. High school student handbook.
That part I don't have information on. So were you guys presented with some handbook changes?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they're pretty
Probably pretty minimal, but
changes.
also just so you guys know too, we worked on it last week, but we didn't have it completely finalized for this meeting. So in July, there will be some updates to the middle school handbook as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Is everybody good with the high school student handbook?
Yeah.
Anything? Okay, perfect. Bus purchase.
Now this is where everybody has to.
Yeah, this is me. A little bit. So you heard Philip talk about the financial impact of what that will be for basically one brand new bus. And we are definitely hoping to get at least two. But the more Lindsay and I dig into the busing situations and the buses that are over there, it might be something to consider a third bus. But, you know, I also agree with Philip, it might be something that we look into as soon as we know the numbers in October. But, I mean, that's obviously something that you guys have to decide upon. But I can give you a rundown here
Well, we
of,
are gonna vote on that today too, so, I mean, obviously we could add a third one later if we wanted to, but it is an option to vote on a third one today.
so, like Philip mentioned, bus 25, 26, and 27, they were considered red tag, so that means they can't be fixed. So those have to be scrapped. We also had a few others that were yellow tagged. So bus 10, bus 24, bus 12, bus 14, bus 31 were all yellow tags. So they had to be fixed. Bus 14 is now green, so that's good to go. Bus 10 and bus 24, I believe, are, let me just look at my text, see if I got those right from today. Bus 10 and 24 are both green tag now, so those are okay to go. Bus 31 is getting shipped off to get looked at and to get fixed.
Do you know if any of these buses that are red tag or yellow tags are ones that we purchased,
No.
lease to purchase from Auxilia?
I don't know that.
You don't know that.
They can't be. These are older than that.
Okay.
Bus number 2 just got warranty, just expired, so that's being shipped off to Grand Rapids to get fixed. And then bus number 12 last week came back and they recommended that it was going to be a complete engine repair. And I believe it, Phil, do you remember this conversation? It was like a 2007.
She said it wasn't worth it to repair that.
Yeah. Just deal with it.
The vintage, the year,
Yeah.
you're talking about, or the cost?
No, the year.
It's a 2014.
That one?
Bus 12 is 2014.
And they recommended not replacing the engine due to the cost. They are getting, once we do want Mets to give us another second opinion before we go ahead and scrap that bus.
Okay.
That was our suggestion.
Just out of curiosity, having so many buses that are yellow tagged and red tagged, I mean, is there any tracking of maybe have we been thinking this that buses have not been getting the maintenance they should have been getting to protect some of this? That's a lot of buses.
Well, I mean, they check.
I'll speak on that a little bit. I know for
Yep.
I know definitely as of late the buses haven't been getting the maintenance that they should be. My mom's a bus driver. I talked to Lindsay about it, but like a serpentine belt isn't on the bus, so it doesn't have air conditioning. There's like one that doesn't have a horn. These are all like legal things that we could get cited for, but it's the responsibility of Auxilio. I know that Lindsay has been arguing with them, and I think she might be withholding pay because of it.
So that's my concern is that they haven't been maintaining our buses, and now we are
Right.
sitting on a problem.
And then they did have that issue with their mechanic, so I don't know if they ever brought one on full time after that. So you guys all saw the proposal. Did Lindsay put in her? I didn't read her update. It's the first time ever. But she announced like who got hired from Mets.
Yep.
So there's like a mechanic / admin.
Dispatcher.
Yeah, dispatcher. And she did say that the buses that they're suggesting that we purchase were vetted through Mets.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's what I was like.
And we got 15 buses that are yellow tagged, and I'm like, we were paying a company to maintain our buses, our fleet, essentially.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it wasn't maintained.
And
And
there's
I
a
don't,
big break.
can we get something back from that?
I mean, I would say yes, there's probably at least some of that going on, but we have a very old fleet.
Yeah, that part I
And
totally.
we haven't been replacing it on the schedule that we should probably for at least a decade. I mean, Wendy, when she was superintendent, we did replace some buses, but probably not as many as we needed.
So it's a combination.
Yeah, and I think communication's been really bad with like Zilio for years too. I really wish when we were talking about this, I had that spreadsheet that Jessica put together that had all of the buses and their status and all the information about them.
Just to be clear, we're voting on, we're gonna buy 2 new ones, is that correct?
One new one.
One use.
One new one used.
The goal is one brand
Well, they're
new
all
one.
used, right? The 2024 is probably used, right?
$104,000 one.
Okay, so it's either 2 new or 2
It's got
used, is
$15,000.
that correct?
He's still adding.
Okay,
We're adding 2
Two
buses, is what, Lindsay's proposed that we don't buy less than 2 buses.
The 144 includes one new bus, though,
I
correct?
guess my thought is that, you know, if you can find a good used bus, and there's a couple, MTE had a couple here that, you know, when you look at the cost difference, you're almost to the point where you've got a third one if you buy 2 good used ones.
I hear what you're saying.
And so it becomes a trade-off, and, you know, there's a lot of benefit to buying new, but there's cost savings to buying used if you get a good one. Now, I don't know who tests these things and everything else to make sure they're good, but that would, you know, have to be something that's done.
I know International is a really good brand of bus, and that Keith Martin has his seal of approval. I don't know if you know who Keith is, but he was a bus driver and a teacher here for many, many years. I know that the Thomases are the lower line, and we just got 2 Thomases in some of our last bus purchases. But I mean, I know that they are the lower line than International. And was Lindsay saying she would prefer to get the 2024 and the 2017 is what she was recommending if we only got 2?
One was brand new.
Well, the one that Philip had in his presentation is a brand new bus.
Okay.
So we are hoping that you guys go forth and purchase at least one brand new, and then the second and third one's obviously up to you guys with the information that that we have here. So this was I'll just be honest, this was my first year I have a meeting with the bus driver every Thursday. And it's been eye-opening with different things and how that's functioning over there. And so I can't speak to the maintenance in which they've had, but they haven't had the mechanic for a while. It's all been a traveling mechanic that comes in through Auxilio from all over the place. There has been lots of talk since we decided to go with a different company. Why some of these things haven't been taken care of sooner than later. So I do know one of the buses that I mentioned we talked about back in February and it still is not fixed. So
Well, on this list it has 2, 25, 26, 27 are all spare buses, so that's good news.
but 25, 26 are now out.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. All the
Yeah.
buses that are now out
Yes.
are listed on here as spare buses, but I believe because they were spare, maybe they're used sometimes for trips.
Yeah, so the spare buses are always ones, because there's always something, right? There's always something that's going on, just like anybody's cars at home. There's always something you have to fix, whether it's time for an oil change, and, so that one's maybe not out that day on a route. So there's always needing to have more than the allotted number that we have per kids per day. And I wish I could tell you exactly, but in the spring we've got buses going all sorts of which ways, starting at starting before 6 o'clock, and they pick up track people sometimes by noon, and then you're going with your second route. So they're all used.
Do we have an idea of what kind of the lifespan, mileage-wise, for a bus?
Yeah, I asked
We
that
have
the
that.
other
So that's
day.
on here.
I was gonna say, I know we have it somewhere.
How long is the warranty on a new bus? Does anybody know?
So that one warranty, do you have that? I believe it, honestly, I think it was only 3 years.
Is it like a car 3 years or something?
It's gonna be like over two, like the,
I wanna
the
say it's around
diesel, it's like
250,000.
over 200, yeah. So bus 25 has,
255,000 miles on
Yeah,
it.
so we're around
but
250.
24 is one that was still in our fleet, and that's gonna be the oldest in our fleet now at, year 207.
Just because we're talking about using by the use budget, or by about 180,000.
24,
Yeah,
25,
some have like
26,
15.
Yeah.
Okay, so 27, so
Oh, maybe it's 25.
So either 24 or 27, they're the same year. That will still be the oldest bus in our fleet. It's
So
2007.
just to add in with Gary, with what you were saying is what we did actually the last couple of years is buy buses that were a couple of years old. So the only thing that's beneficial at this point, buying brand new too, is that we don't want them all to go bad again at the same time. So we do want to stagger them. So it makes sense, in my opinion, to get something new. And then if we get something old, because we do want them staggered, even though 4 years ago a brand new bus was $100,000. Now it's $144,000.
If we're gonna buy buses, it seems to, used ones, it seems to me that we should be looking at something within some reasonable mileage rather than age.
And they're on here as well.
Yeah,
The
I don't
mileage
know,
are
do we have
listed.
some kind of a mileage
They're
cut
all,
off below which we're not gonna.
they all have
buy?
mileage underneath it on the list.
Oh, but
Some
he's
people are
saying,
pretty high.
Yeah.
Make a decision on it though.
Well, this one's like 15,000 mileage.
No, but he's saying when we make
No.
our decision, the mileage should be a factor,
More than the age.
more than the age.
Or a combination.
Yeah, I think it's
Little
a combination.
algebra.
Well, the other things still sit right like that, so.
X plus Y equals. There you go.
It doesn't seem to make much sense to me to buy a bus for 50,000 that's got 150,000 miles.
Exactly.
Now, again, I don't know what's reasonable, but.
Right, that's what we need to look at.
Hey, I will say on the plus side, there's buses available to buy. Because a couple times ago when we looked, there weren't.
There was
that's
nothing
available,
available.
So when we talk about this bus conversation too, you have the information about like the contingency, the bond contingency funds, and what was that in her board update? What she's spending?
Phil, is that what, that bond contingency fund, fund, do you have the exact number for what you wanted for the bus?
Yeah, hang on one second.
I have one last question. Does anybody know, is there any company out there that leases school buses?
We did.
And if so, are they in the cost game or no?
It's more gonna, we switched to, sorry, you can do this.
Go ahead.
Oh, we went from, we were leasing,
From Exilio, though.
correct, and then we went back to buying. It is much more cost effective, in my opinion, if we have those on our own.
Well, we did talk about, a couple times ago, we did have a conversation though when we go to look at buses, if leasing is more cost effective, right, because of the wear and tear of the buses.
Correct.
And I don't, did you guys look into leasing at all?
We've seen it.
I haven't.
But it could be different with
Leasing
that,
it
too.
all.
If maintenance is included in a lease contract, that's
I don't
at a
think it
reasonable
was.
price. That's a great deal, but I'm guessing it's
I
not
don't
gonna
think
be
it was.
reasonable or it's not included.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Might be worth the
Here's-
conversation.
Well, I mean, I don't think that we can, like, I think that we would have to, like, relook into
Yeah,
that,
correct.
right?
Previously
And that
it was
there's
not.
companies that probably just lease buses, to your point. I think
I'm
one of
just
the
curious.
school districts do lease their buses.
That could be a solution, third bus.
Yeah, and then
You
every
just
2
throw
years
on-
again, but-
As long as we're looking at this, it might not hurt to take
Oh, yeah.
another look at that just
Put
to
it in
see.
your mind.
So what, here's
We've
what
got
happened
two
with,
buying.
you can tell me if I'm wrong on this, but here's what happens with Auxilio, is they owned flat out some buses, and we were basically paying them to lease the bus, and then we were also paying them basically to fix the buses that we were leasing.
Correct.
And they weren't even, we weren't even using them because they didn't want to put miles on their own buses.
Yeah, I remember
So
something.
we were like, Lindsay and I and Phil looked at the money and we're like, we need to own these buses.
Correct.
So I don't know if there's other companies that, Mets would say, hey, maybe we can lease from Bluebird directly. I don't know that.
We're looking into it, yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about it briefly, and I believe that there are, because I think You might be right, it might be Belt Lake, but I do feel like a Kalamazoo County school district does lease their buses. Maybe it's Portage, they have way more money.
I was thinking about that too.
Well,
They
they
just
just
borrow
got-
buses from
They just
Belt,
got,
so I don't
so
think
I will say,
they
like,
lease these
when we did our middle school bond, Portage did a bond for a whole new fleet of buses. Was just a small fragment of their, of their bonds. So we've been buying them with the general fund.
We're making
primarily.
progress.
We're getting there. We're heading in the right direction.
Did you have a question about,
Yeah,
Contingency
what was the
fund.
question?
How much money of the contingency fund was going to be spent on the bus?
How much, what portion of the contingency fund is gonna be spent on buses, based on what we have it,
At
how
this
we have it
moment.
budgeted? It's the one used bus, that 92,500. That's kind of in there as a budgeted item using this contingency fund.
So 144 for new and 92 for used.
Yeah, brand new was
Oh,
$5 years old,
contact
$100,000.
I don't want to contact you for a price.
well, and she put in her board update, about the contingency funds and what, gonna be used for. Did anybody have any questions on that? 'Cause that kind of ties into the bus conversation.
Say
There's
there's be
more
just a
buses.
rough, it might just be a rough estimate of average.
I know that when I talked to her, I can't pull it up really quick what's in it, but I know when I talked to her, the items that she wanted to spend the contingency money on, she thought would not be good to spend general fund money on, like the playgrounds were in there.
Yeah.
There was a building for out here for storage, cause we had a problem with some of the track equipment. What else is in here? Oh, furniture at the high school. I think those are the three big things.
So you're talking about old contingency funds, that was not really just the bus, correct? You're talking about future contingency funds applicable for the bus?
No, the 94,000
So current,
would be current contingency funds that we still have.
got
Okay.
you, so,
we,
got you.
yeah.
So that would be a goal,
So
that's
that's
out of the
furniture
funds we
and
already have.
storage, and so the 94 is for all of that.
94 is for the bus.
Oh,
Just
Yeah,
for
it's
the
just for
bus.
the bus.
Okay. Got scared there for a second.
Okay.
So is
Okay.
everybody feeling, like, I don't even know what the crib sheet says.
Yeah.
How's everybody feeling about the buses?
I feel comfortable.
Like, are we leaning towards two, and then a third one later, maybe?
Yeah, I
I
think
agree.
we're on one later.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's at least, like, I mean, good to have Lindsay explain it, and she can give us all of the
That's
details.
and that's what
Probably
the
high on our radar.
Says purchase of
that's
two
what the
buses.
bar is for, is one new and one used.
Okay, perfect.
One
Okay.
new, one used, one general fund money, one contingency.
Yep.
Yes.
Beautiful.
That's how the bar reads, so
Yes.
that's
Perfect. So everybody's ready to move on from that?
Moving in.
Any more questions here?
What are we on?
The bus purchase, are we done with that conversation? Okay.
Check it.
Superintendent contracts now.
Yeah.
Fire away.
So I actually have a side thought to the contract.
Oh, no, I'm not taking any of those.
That's bad.
I'm just kidding. This has consumed my life.
I believe it has. No, just because, like, originally we've talked about, now I'm really digressing here, but, at some point in time, we rotate positions within the board, right? Like every few years, like it's sometimes
Yeah.
it's recommended.
But this isn't the.
Amber did the packet before she left on
Gotcha.
vacation,
This-
so
this
I emailed.
contract is obviously in the final contract.
So the one that was emailed, like.
Do you want me
This
to?
was the one we received today
There
via.
was one in the packet here, is this a different
No.
one?
Yeah.
Different.
This is a different one. It's not the final one. So.
Do you want me to
the one
make
that was emailed
copies?
today.
I got the one that's emailed.
Say again?
I can go make
Yeah, that's
copies
not
if you
correct.
want.
If everyone reviewed it,
I tried. I had a lot of time, so briefly.
Okay. So
I
what's
know.
your side note?
Oh, okay. So, like, is there a workshop around contracts and stuff?
Would be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be because, like, obviously you have the experience with it, and I know you ask a lot of questions, which I appreciate.
I
And I
learned a
think
lot
Laura's
this
sat with
time.
you, but I'm just, I guess for future reference, if we are going to try to rotate positions, it's like, I feel like everyone should have a deeper understanding.
So I feel how this contract thing should really work as in May, probably. Like a group of 2 or 3 board members should look at the contracts and privately negotiate with Lindsay and have a little back and forth like she does with the teachers, right? And then they reach an agreement and they bring it to the board and propose that.
And maybe
Not
switch that up year after year of like who attends.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah,
we
well,
get
I
long-term
mean,
depending on.
Like, I think if you do that, you'd have 3 people and you have 2 people that really know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
And then you have, I will say, that Gary spent a lot of time reading through this. He has had experience with contracts in the past and he helped a lot with this. And, another thing I think looking at this that we've talked about is, probably a need to do a, salary schedule like Lindsay did with all the other admin jobs, and have that in the contracts maybe. That would be a lot less. And then I think I've talked to all of you guys several times about this, but I talked to Sarah, I talked to Gary. I think they like both had a lot of questions and looked at this really well and talked to the lawyer. And basically, Lindsay has came back every year with like an ask, and we don't have to do that. Like this is a 3-year contract, and I think it's all of us being kind of relatively new, right? And always extending it a year. So we're not planning on doing that, and Lindsay's okay with that. So this is a 3-year contract. So
That's good
2 years from now, we would start negotiating again, right? So that she would always have 1 year left on her contract. And honestly, I told Gary this several times. I wish that we would have started talking about it in May, because now I kind of feel a little hurried.
Should start talking about it in April. To
Probably.
allow enough time.
Yeah.
Let me correct one thing. There's still, as this is Deeks now, there still is this one issue because.
This is the old one.
Yeah,
Oh, you got the new
yeah.
one? Okay. Okay.
The new one on the very first, it says page 1 term, it says, ending on blah, 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 subject to extension, non-renewal, and termination. So the extension is still there. And if it's there, that's wiggle room. And I just don't like it. And I suggested we take that out, but it got left in there, and I'm still saying, take it out.
So, I took all of your suggestions and I talked to Lindsay about them. And the ones that are still in here are like, I kind of messaged you before. I think that we should work on taking them out, in the future. I think like there's too much of a crunch time now to have that conversation. And I really did this back asswards, because
I think you're doing fine.
Well, I mean, we kind of like came to an agreement, and then like the more we talked about it, the more people had questions, and then you gave me a great list of things for the district that we should talk and ask about.
Let me say from my perspective, we've got this whittled down to just 2 things. This is one of them here. And let me just throw in the reason why I'm raising this, is that a 3-year contract is term defined. It's 3 years. It's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 10, it's 3. And when you have a 3-year contract, it should be a 3-year contract, not one that you can extend every year to have a perpetual 3-year contract. Reason number 2 is the purpose of having terminated contract is if something goes wrong, your damages are limited. And if you want an example, Comstock Township just got caught in this by firing their superintendent, and they're going to end up paying them $350,000 left in. So at least you're. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Well, did they just fire their superintendent for the schools?
No.
Comstock Township.
Oh, township. Okay, yeah.
So all I'm saying is that you limit your loss by doing that, and I just think for those 2 reasons, we just should say no. We've been very generous, I think, and we should just say no. This has got to be, and that's all it is.
Well, and we can, like, we're having a conversation now, so if, like, the board votes to take that wording out, if everybody agrees.
I'm good with that.
Okay, I don't know how everybody else
Did
feels.
you run that by the lawyer? Because it also is verbiage for us, not just for the person with the contract.
So the lawyer did look over this
and what
contract,
they say with that
and
line
she didn't,
brings alarm.
she didn't highlight it or change it. Like, she did make a lot of changes. A lot of them were ones that he picked up on and that he was okay with the changes. So, I mean, if everybody wants, we can say to Lindsay that we took that wording out and we approved it.
I think when we take a vote on this, we should include that as a, subject to, if you will. We approve it subject to these changes, and I got a feeling there aren't gonna be very many. Let me throw out my other only one,
Okay.
because I probably had most of them. And it comes into section 5, under the benefits. So what we did, she wanted an extra 3 days, was it 2 days? Or 3?
We ended up
3
giving
days.
We
her.
ended up changing this to 30 vacation days and 1 personal day.
Yeah.
But the problem that I have with this is that when somebody asks for extra vacation days, you would assume they were asking because they want to use it. But there's a carryover provision built in here that, and it's 10 days on top of being carried over. And I guess I thought about this. My position would be, I could live with a 5-day carryover, but not the 10. That's just,
So in all transparency, the previous contract said up to 10 unused vacation days will be paid out at the superintendent's rate at the end of the year. And when we were going over this, she was like, I'd rather carry them over than be paid out. So they added the word or carried over. And when
let me just inject that.
Yeah.
I missed that. I think that should come out too. And what it should be is just 5 days of carryover. I'm perfectly fine with that. And not being paid out. Because once again, if you're asking for more, take it. And you really need to take it in a position like this because it's boiler. You're in a boiler all the time and you need the relief. So
I talked to Lindsay about this, and
that would be my only other recommendation.
she was not okay with taking out the payout just because she was worried about sometimes there might be situations where she wouldn't be able to use them because like things come up, like fires that need to be put out. So that was her counter, because I said, hey, like this is the 9th hour and these are some proposed changes. She was okay with most of them. That was one she was like, no, I really don't want to have that taken out. So
Well, here's another option. You could always, and it says it in the very first page, is that any changes in this contract require the approval of the board. If some extenuating circumstance happened and we needed to juggle something, she could come back and we could discuss it and we could change it based on that allowance.
Doesn't it say we can't make
I mean,
any
on a
amendments to
case
this
by case
contract? though?
basis in essence.
Midterm.
no, it says any amendments to the contract would have to be approved by the board.
Okay.
But that would be an amendment.
Yeah, right.
Right, no, I read it wrong then earlier.
So it just be she comes back and what I'm saying is we can do it because this clause is in there.
Yeah,
I can't
But isn't
imagine
it-
her taking
and-
that.
I guess so. I'm sorry, what?
I can't imagine her taking that. I've never lived in the contract world. I've always been an at-will employer
Same.
or employee. But things are great right now. But we've been through some superintendents.
Mm-hmm.
Things are wonderful. I don't think things will go bad. I'm very excited with where we're going, but I can't imagine her not wanting that protection where she would want that carryover or she'll want to be paid out. She won't want to have to worry about whether or not things are going well enough because what's going bad that's going to have her come in.
Mm-hmm.
It might be that holy storm that she needs protection at that point, and that's when we're going to put our foot down. Like I said, I've never worked in a contract job, but if I was in a contract job and I had that and you were trying to take it away from me, I'd be like, no, because I won't misuse it. So why are you trying to take it away from me?
I think that she
Like
feels pretty adamant that this stays in here, and with the carryover, I will say, the good news is while we were looking at this, Jane came in the office and got the little book out that says how many days, and Lindsay had 11 days, that was last Friday, and she's on vacation, I think this week, right? So she's on track to use all of her vacation days.
And I'd like to also, the amendment process is not something we can do in 24-hour periods. If we're talking about her having something coming up where she needs to make it, hey, board, can we change this? There might be a board meeting for 2 weeks, and then there's a vote, and there's a read, and then that's a 6-week process to make an amendment for something she needed. I'd rather just.
So she also wanted me to make sure that the board knows that she knows I only get days, not the breaks.
So like when school's off at Christmas, she has to take vacation if she's going to be off. She doesn't get those days. So 15 days at Christmas and spring breaks leaves her with 15 days all summer.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, it eats it up fast.
And 1 day to use during the year.
And I can say the last few places that I have worked as an at-will employee, they have been pushing more and more to allowing 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks rollover, a week to 2 weeks payout, because
Those are good employees.
yeah, people with longevity are starting to build up this vacation time and this time out, and it's allowing them that freedom to be able to utilize it how they need to for their family and for the time. So,
Okay.
especially understanding that she has to take vacation time during the breaks too. That would never have crossed my mind, but I still thought 30
Or
days
she
was
works,
good.
like a lot of times they might work them, right? Like they
Yeah.
might work part of it and not all of it, or.
But if she wants to utilize it like the teacher.
Yeah, there's
she-
some administration stuff that has to happen.
And I agree with you. I know a lot of companies are at least doing a week carryover. I mean, I don't think you're too far off with changing it to 5 days. I think that when it says 10 and you want to change it, it's a little bit hard, right? Because it's a negotiation.
But here, okay, I do have one question. What's in here? So, well, actually, you approve all her vacation time, right? As the board president?
Well, it says that in here.
I was going to say, I was under the impression that's how that works.
She doesn't so just FYI, she doesn't say, hey, Jessica, I want to take a vacation day, but Jane
But it hasn't
has
been used either.
Jane has
Correct.
tracks of it, and I can call her and ask her.
But my question actually is, though, what happens when, say, she keeps rolling over, say this happens, and she accumulates, just please,
Go ahead.
she accumulates 2 months, and then she wants to
You
take
can't.
2 months off.
This says you can only carry over 10. So
Right.
every
This
year
is a
you can
limit.
only have 40.
This is a limit.
Yeah,
So it
so
can't
she-
be carried over more
So I
than
thought it
5
was
in
right.
any
Oh,
given year.
yeah,
It's only
okay.
10 days.
Yeah.
So the most you
It's
have in
not-
any given year, she carried 5 over would be 35.
So yeah, even if she had 40 the next year and she only
Still only 10 more.
It's only
You
10
can't
more.
accumulate 16 months.
Okay.
No, I originally thought you were way in
Well, and to your point too, like if you did this, like if you keep asking for more vacation days and then you get paid out, that's basically just adding to your base salary.
Right.
So I mean, I will say I completely agree with you. I just.
It depends on the
Maybe that's something to keep an eye on, and
Yeah.
when we have to actually renegotiate the
This
whole
is very
contract.
similar.
You can go back and
To
look
the
and say, has that been
I think
It's not
my
gonna be me,
response to
FYI.
Lindsay,
Well,
if I was sitting
President,
along with
Just
her,
in this, I
the
would
only thing
not.
I'd be saying is somebody
I would
doesn't
not
ask
change
for more
that.
vacation if they don't want to use it. Explain that one to me.
Oh, I think she's in a position right now where she wants to use it, right? Like her
And she
kids are
should.
little.
And we should encourage
and I
her
don't
to
think
use
you,
it.
I'm not concerned that she's asking for
Okay, I
vacation,
thought
it's
so,
a
yeah.
tax funded
No,
payout.
'cause it's
I don't think that's the case.
subject to extension.
I think she's asking for the time because she.
And termination.
But that changes, right? Like he has a valid point because that changes, right? Right now she wants to take it, but in 10 years when her kids are grown, then she might get paid out.
We
for
have a
her
new
contract.
contractor to do it in 2 years, so we can change,
That's my negotiation with Gary is.
I think when we come to a new contract when this one's over, that's when we
Yeah.
can think about
Unless
making
you're
those
moving
big
any of
changes.
our options.
So my proposal would be that we make you half happy. We take out the extension on page 1 and we leave this for the next contract to be negotiated.
Can I
That's gonna give
can
me
I
no
add to that?
from me.
Yeah.
I can't,
Okay.
no.
I don't feel comfortable removing verbiage that is beneficial to both sides. It's not stating we have to add years to her contract.
It's not saying we can't either if you take it out.
Correct. It's subject to extension, non-renewal, and termination as provided in this contract. So there's other things it's covering, not just renewing.
He just wants to take out
She
just the
just wants to
subject to
take out the
extension.
Yeah,
extension.
just that one more.
Any extension in the contract requires express approval by the board.
No, he just
No.
wants to take out the word extension
One word.
on page
That's it.
1.
I know,
Letter
we're
1.
1-1.
So it just basically doesn't suggest that we
Subject to
extend it every
non-renewal
year
or
like we've been doing. So I don't have to negotiate this or nobody else has to every
Yeah, I just
year.
don't want to get caught back up in that
Yeah.
extension of 1 year thing. I just,
Right, and that's his point as to why he wants to take it out. He
Yeah, but-
just wants to take out
Here's the thing.
Just that
subject
one
to
When it
extension.
comes to contracts, every single word, comma, and everything counts.
correct.
And so when I look at one of these, it takes hours because I have to look at every
We have
single
contracts
word.
too,
blah,
I
blah,
get
blah. So I'm just saying,
I
if you
mean-
let that in there, it leaves the door open.
I know that Sarah spent a lot of time looking at it and posed a lot of great questions and called people and asked them. I know that Gary spent at least 6 hours looking at
Yeah.
this, not counting the time that me and him talked about
Correct.
this. So
So they're just saying, yeah, leave it to separate tomorrow.
Yeah.
Would you be fine if you could only, like, so if we go with, if we said 10 days, because I think 10 days is not that much. When you're talking about a high pressure job like this, to be able to roll over an extra 2 weeks, basically, I can roll over half of what I earn
Oh,
every year,
I can only
and I
roll
can
over
do that
5
even
days.
more and more. Like, so would it be something where we, and I don't know how convoluted we want to get, because 11th hour. I mean, this is tough, but 10 days, but you could only get paid out on 5. You wouldn't be able to get paid out on a full 10. Can she?
No.
like you could carry over 10 but get paid out on 5.
You just said she didn't care whether she got paid out or not.
But no, it's in there.
Right now, she said she would rather
use it.
She would rather carry them over. But then when I talked to her and asked if I could take out the payout and just have carried over, she said no, she would not like that because there might be certain situations where she's not able to use a day or two because of the high pressure job.
Can you do a combination then? It would be my question. If she had more than 10 left, can you do 10 payout and 10 rollover? Because that's the open door. I just want to make sure that's not an option.
Just about to ask that
Just
too.
10 days, you
So
guys.
regardless, 10 days is 10 days. So it doesn't matter either
So
way.
if she gets paid out
Now,
too,
now
read it.
would she probably carry over 5 and get paid according to this? Probably.
Because 10 is 10.
yeah, so
Yeah,
10
10
though
is 10.
is the
But
whether-
she can't do 20 days.
No, yeah. Then that's what you understand why.
And here's the thing to remember. So she's earned those 10 days, whether she carries them over, she takes them as vacation, or she takes payout on it. She's earned them.
Correct.
That's part of her total compensation.
So like,
It's not like she's getting more money out of
So I
it.
don't
No, she
understand.
worked those days instead of taking them off. So yeah, she should get paid.
Well, the whole conversation is she
That.
asked for 3 more vacation days,
Right.
right? Is why it's a conversation piece, as it wasn't in there before.
okay.
And most at-will employees don't give a damn if you earn them or not.
Right.
They take them away. So that's where there's places are changing them. So
I know, that's where it's all.
I'm good with 10 days. I would be good with 10
But
days.
here's
To
another
clarify
way.
one more thing, hang on one second, Gary. To clarify one more thing, we're saying 3 more days, but that's for the next 3 years. We're not adding more, correct? Because this contract is staying like this for the next 3 years. So that's adding 3 days, but we're not adding any more days for the next 3
No,
years.
that's exactly right.
So that's what I'm stating. So in my opinion, I mean, we add days every single year to our doctor contracts.
We get added every 10
He's
years.
done.
I mean,
That's
so there's a lot of different things, right? Like
Correct,
in
but
my
he's comparing-
employment, you're gonna get an extra. You're gonna get more vacation every 10 years.
Correct.
So
But he's comparing it to like what he knows.
You just don't like the 10 days?
he works
That's
at
too
my
much?
company, man.
Well,
But he's a veterinarian.
well, wait a minute. The 10 days is adding 3 days, and he wants
No,
to go
no,
too
no.
far.
No, so
She
she
had
had
25.
25.
So it's 5 days, not 3 days.
And we
Right.
juggled 2
No,
out
it's
of
only
the
3
30.
because
did
we added 3 days vacation and she wanted to have 30 days vacation. So she took 2 days from her personal and moved them. Yeah, honestly, she wanted 5. But I think me and her had a communication problem, and I was like, hey, this is the 9th inning, and I took 3 to the board. Do I have to go back to them and ask for 5? And she was like, no. So,
And she can take a vacation. I'm good with the way it's written.
I'm comfortable the way it is.
I just have, so is the payout part going to be left in there?
yeah.
She wants it left in there. Yeah, and I would agree that it should be.
fair. It's costing us the same amount of money.
Including the 10 days rollover or carried over?
Yeah, she 10 days can be carried over or paid out, not both.
Yeah.
No.
So she could roll over each and pay out for 2. She could
Not both.
pay out for 6 and roll over 4.
That's how you understood it, right? Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah,
It's
so
all
I
my
don't,
professional back here.
What was changed was.
Okay.
so I have no problem. For my vote, not my vote, but my conversation is I don't mind taking out the word extension. That's totally fine. It takes it off the table for 3 years, and I would be fine with the time that she's asking for.
And then added 3.
I think it's a fair ask for being locked in for 3 years.
And if we do that, do we need to bring this back to her before it's approved?
Okay.
I don't know.
So,
imagine.
Sean just brought up a very valid point, that he reads it as subject to extension at the end of the 3 years. And I think that's probably why the lawyer didn't flag it.
I mean, I'll just speak. If
Yeah.
everybody's reading, Amy probably read the same way I would have.
I don't have it in front of me.
So this is written for a 3-year contract.
Correct.
You guys are just being fortunate to open it up every year.
This is saying that by the end of a 3-year contract, it's subject to an extension.
That's what I
It's
thought.
not
Okay.
subject to an extension yearly. It's
Correct.
subject to an extension after the 3 years. That's why there's a comma, non-renewal, comma, or termination.
Correct, it
So you
opens
can
up
after
all
3
three
years
choices depending.
extend it, non-renew it, or terminate.
Okay, so you're reading that at June 30th, 2027, at that point, it's subject to be extended,
Yeah.
non-renewed.
But here's the
terminated.
thing, a 3-year contract doesn't need to be extended at the end of 3 years because you just.
Well, you
did it.
can if you can't come
That's
to
why it
negotiations,
says
and so
subject
you
to-
extend it a year to get a year's worth of negotiations. That's a collective bargaining negotiations after you do an
Or it would
extension,
say.
because you can't come to another 3-year contract agreement. You extend the current contract for 1 year, pending negotiation. That's what the extension would be there for.
That would make
I
sense.
mean, how do you read
Because
that?
that's what you do in
Yeah.
union contracts.
I mean,
That's
I
how
read
I
it that
read
way
it.
My
just
response
because
to
of the
that
comma.
was, that is truly
Yeah, there's an end
a
date.
technical legal question that I'm not capable of.
The
answering.
lawyer did see this, and the lawyer is very,
Because
yeah, the
John
lawyer.
he raises a good point.
Well, the lawyer was very adamant that we shouldn't be extending it every year. That is a
Yeah,
When they
everybody
say
evergreen clause or something.
Yes.
I just made that word up, but
Yeah, I'm
So
pretty sure
what
it's
we
probably
should do,
right.
in light of this conversation, maybe we should, just a 2-minute answer, is ask the lawyer again, based on this discussion, whether it should stay in or come out. And I'm comfortable with it, whatever they say.
Okay.
But we've really thrashed this part of it
let's
out.
take a 2-minute recess, and I'll try to call her and ask her.
Okay.
Okay,
Move to the lobby.
we're gonna take a 2-minute recess. We'll convene again at 7:33.
Oh my God. The yard work killed me.
I don't
That was such a great point, no, thank you. That made my union breaking it.
That's
That's what it is, that's what we do in union contracts, I've done union contracts,
I mean,
negotiations.
Me too.
Is when we can't come to an agreement for collective bargaining, we pull the extension trigger to buy us another year of
I
contract.
mean, yeah, I think that's why there's a ending
The
after
comma.
3 years, the comma, the
I don't know where
comma.
else they're like, hey buddy.
So you got 3 choices.
What happens when I have to negotiate a union contract in 10 months, right?
I can't find my.
Is that how you
I
did
love
that?
300 hours.
Yeah.
I know, my
But-
face is
It goes
so
for
hot.
those 3 years.
12 hours.
End of the
At the end
3
of the
years,
3
you
years.
have to use that.
So I can take it.
All right, guys,
every 2
this
weeks
has
to
been
still
fun.
eat.
Have a great summer.
I have my plate a little.
I don't have that.
overfull, I'm good, thank you. Was it little people at least?
Okay, everything came in July.
Okay,
I don't think you did. I don't think it's
Salem.
But I'm just coming. I'm taking July
Where's
off.
your contract? No. See how many comments you got.
Subject to extension.
Yeah. Well, listen, I say this every year. I end up working until
Well, it's one more kid, just read my hurts. I have shoulder surgery around, but I have one arm to carry.
That's why I don't care about that for 10 days.
Isn't that so sad?
5 of those are working full time.
Well, she doesn't get the 2 weeks in Christmas, so her kid for kids are off. She wants to take it. So then I didn't want
the
to.
only reason she's been days left is if something with her saying major's going on and she can't take it off, and then
So like when she and I talked, it was like, let's say over Christmas break, right? Her kids are off for 2 weeks, and they're not going anywhere. Then she's not going to take her vacation. She might the next year. They might have a trip planned where she wants to take those 2 weeks, and then she would have time in the summer where none of us are there anyway.
Right. That's why I don't care about time.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
I don't care.
Were you staying here?
Somebody got
Sweeter than Julie going.
I have your.
There's just a benefit.
That's what I
Take
say.
your kids to borrow Nate's stuff, Taylor. Oh,
They
wrap.
got a motor in tomorrow, but
I
the
did not know
shit
that.
takes so long.
My husband does not be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, our deductible's already been paid. And our deductible's huge.
Oh, don't even. Are you talking health insurance?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, my like
That-
was
but that part I know.
was $9,000 our cost alone.
After deductible. Yeah. I forgot about that whole personal thing. I'm talking 3 and 5. Where's the thing go?
No, I can't. Thank you.
No, but I mean,
Did they answer?
Still want to. She did not answer.
Good
So,
try.
so we can reconvene at 7:34. I don't have an answer.
Gary. Can we leave it till next year?
One more question. We have a contract in place right now. It's good, actually another couple of years. Even if we didn't get this finalized today, there's no pressing rush because the contract is in place, and we could certainly get this done no later than the next meeting. And we can always just specify our meeting minutes that this is retroactive to.
We can't make it, it's illegal to make it retroactive.
Found that out the hard way.
Yeah.
So that's the resolution. The resolution approving it
It's
could be retroactive.
No, it's illegal to make a superintendent's benefits anything retroactive. We did find this out the hard way because we tried to do it. But I believe that you are correct though, even, can I ask you that? So if we don't approve her contract tonight and we approve it next month, everything in here is for the year. It's like basically changing her vacation days and the amount that she gets for her mileage stipend. So would that really affect anything if we approved it tonight or we approved it in July?
Yes, I cannot put anything into effect. It would all have to be based on last year's contract because there is not a new signed contract. So I have to go with last year's wages
Until
we get a signed contract.
Okay, so it impacts her base pay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Well, I mean, and honestly, me and Lindsay are in total agreement. We're not renegotiating this next year.
Well,
Well, you don't have to, according to the
Right.
Correct.
And that's what the lawyer said too. So, I mean, I do think if we leave it just as it is, and then we even can start meeting as soon as anybody wants to create a salary schedule and to pick apart wording.
I was thinking that'd be a good ad hoc committee. So we're having a contract committee?
Huh?
This temporary committee we could have.
Yeah, so I'll put you and Gary on it, and who else wants to be on it? Nate?
Lots of questions.
I do have lots of questions.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead. I'm gone twice this summer, though. Just warning you now.
Well, I mean, it's not
Well, you have
anything that
3
needs to be
years.
taken. Yeah, you have
Yeah, we have time.
two.
I'll have a lot more time by then.
Is everybody okay with that? Are you okay with that?
I mean, what?
Are you okay with if we leave it how it is right now and we form a superintendent contract committee where you guys have this all put together, create a salary schedule and stuff for 2 years, like you have 2 years to do that for when we renegotiate this again.
And present it to us and we can,
And there's
Go
opportunity
from
for you
there.
guys to send feedback and say, hey, I
correct.
read the contract, can we talk about picking this up? Can we change all of it?
So there's just the two things that he mentioned tonight and the salary schedule that needs to be done.
But if anybody comes up with anything in the next 2 years, we can bring it to the committee and say, hey, can we
The salary schedule is already done in here.
For 3 years, but we have to create a salary schedule that gives her a cap. We can't give her a 3% raise every single year for as long as she works here.
Well, that goes back to what I raised that didn't get put in here, was that, to my way of thinking, the 3% should be predicated on a fully effective performance rating as defined by the statute. So if either of the other two rating classifications, which are needing support or whatever, if either of those are the result, then that 3% no longer applies.
And we did change the wording
I
too.
saw the word to effective, but my thought was defective pursuant to the statute, because it defines it into those 3 rating classifications. So,
I think
effective
that you're
is
expecting
one
a
of
lot.
those words that could be interpreted a lot of different ways.
Okay, I appreciate all the time you spend into it. I think that you found some great things. I just think that you are expecting a lot for us to negotiate with Lindsay on things that are more to her benefit in a short amount of time.
Which is why she wants to set up committees so that we have years to get ready for the next contract.
Good ambition, Gary.
Yeah.
I like your ambition.
So
Moving on. Okay.
I did run what Sean said through, just trying to search through it, and it tried to be as clear as I could in AI. it agrees with what Sean said. I don't mean to sound surprised. That was not my intent.
Wow, Sean.
But it says that the specific language is written that there's a core agreement that establishes a fixed 3-year term. The subject to phrase is subject to the 3 items in the list. And to verify if it can be changed in an annual basis or should be changed in an annual basis, you need to look through the rest of the contract. There would be other information in the contract, like a rolling clause, a 1-year extension clause.
None of those are in there.
None of that stuff is in there, so it's stating that it's just an end-of-term review. If there is no annual review language elsewhere in the contract, it is understood to be a standard fixed term.
The only annual review contract.
Discussion.
Actually, there was a provision in the last contract specific for a 1-year extension.
Yes, and
I
that's
remember
what
that
we
specific.
don't want.
That's what previous
That's out.
individuals fought for.
Yeah, but we shouldn't have been doing that.
Correct.
Yeah.
I completely agree. But unfortunately, we were very young in our world.
And that's, again, what it states. The final sentence piece there is, like, we can choose to open it back up every year if we choose to. But it would have to be a full board approval to do that.
And if you just read this, it basically is kind of open where she gets a 3% longevity pay, but like if we got 100 more students, we could give her 4% or 5%. But it would have to be board approved.
Or we
Oh, I
could
think
have
I'm
a
not
off schedule.
That is off schedule. The longevity is off schedule.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you said longevity.
Okay,
Sorry.
because yeah, I was wondering what the difference between the longevity and the annual.
Yeah, it's
And
the
this-
longevity is off schedule and the.
So it's not a given, or is it? It's still.
It's a given, but it's off schedule, so it doesn't accumulate to her base pay.
Right. I got you. Okay.
Just a bonus.
Yeah, just a bonus.
That's what I wanted to know.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Okay.
so are we ready to move on?
I think we are.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Should we take a vote on that? Communications, public participation.
There was nothing written on it when I walked by.
Beautiful.
Okay, perfect. Okay, business items for decision. High school programs of studies. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the new high school course offering.
Yep.
Sorry. Offering non-PPE work-based learning as presented.
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Shoup,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes,
Smeltzer,
Yep.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. High school student handbook. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the honors handbook?
Yeah. Oh.
No, you skipped, there's a B, we gotta do those two separately.
Oh, okay. I would entertain a motion for the honors, ELA, and social studies selection criteria.
I'll make a motion to approve the honors ELA and honors social studies selection criteria as presented. I'll support.
Roll call
Wilkes,
vote, please.
sorry, Wilkes,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Shoup,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
yes,
Smeltzer,
Yep.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. High school student handbook. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve updates to the high school student handbook as presented.
I'll support.
Roll call.
Shoup,
Yes.
Gillette,
yes,
Davidson,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Okay, so bus purchase. Do we have any further discussion? Okay, I would entertain a motion.
I will motion to approve, what is it, one new bus purchase with using leftover, no, that's not right, is it?
Contingency
Yes,
funds
yes.
from the last
Okay,
one.
using one bus will be purchased using leftover contingency funds from the last bond, and the other bus has been included in the general fund budget for the 2026-2027 school year.
I'll support.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Roll call vote, please.
Corsi,
Yeah.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
yes,
Smeltzer,
Yep.
Shoup,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. 2025-2026 final general fund budget resolution. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the 2025-2026 final general fund budget as presented.
I'll support.
Roll call vote, please.
Corsi,
Yeah.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yes.
Shoup,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. 2025, 2026 final food service fund budget resolution. I would entertain a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the resolution for the 2025-2026 final food service fund budget as presented.
I'll support.
Roll call vote.
Darn right you will.
Corsi,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yes.
Shoup,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0.
It's a lot of hard work.
2026, 2027 original food service fund budget resolution. I would entertain a motion.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the 2026-2027 original general fund budget as presented.
Oh, I thought we already did that one.
Oh, you are. It's final and originals.
I got you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stop following that.
I support.
Yes.
Roll call vote, please.
Corsi,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yep.
Shoup,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. So now we're on G.
Yes.
2026, 2027 original food service fund budget resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the 2026, 2027 original food service fund budget as presented.
Roll call vote.
I'll support.
Thank you.
Corsi,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yep.
Shoup,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. 2026, 2027 original student and school activity fund budget resolution.
Motion to approve the resolution for the 2026-2027 original student and school activity fund budget as presented.
I'll support.
Roll call vote.
Corsi,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yes.
Shoup,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. 2026 operating and debt fund village resolution.
Motion to approve the 2026 operating and debt fund millage resolution as presented.
I'll support.
Roll call vote.
Corsi,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yep.
Shoup,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Ratify superintendent contract.
I'll make a motion to approve and ratify the superintendent's and clinic contract for 2026 to 2027 school year as presented.
I'll support.
Roll call vote, please.
Corsi,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yes.
Thank you, Gary.
Shoup,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Eberstein.
Yes, motion carries 7-0, which makes me super happy. Communications, board comments. Let's start with Quincy.
I don't really have anything going on, but I do have the papers in my car for our upcoming ballot.
Oh, you brought
They
it in?
can't talk anymore, 7:48 to 9 minutes. So I don't know, I can either run out and get them, or we can all meet at my car. Take your pick. Moving on.
And just FYI, to go on with that, I do have an email from Lisa that says we can pick them up at the Galesburg City Hall. So if anybody needs that email in the future, let me know. I'll probably save it out to our shared
You have
area.
to turn it in at the county.
You do have to
Yep.
turn it in at the
And they have a
county.
new location inside the building.
Thank you for doing all of that.
It's fine.
Yes.
Very happy that
You did not say my pleasure. She said it's fine.
It's fine.
No Chick-fil-A.
Okay, Chief.
I am excited for all the things the kids are doing this summer and the more activities they have from like very young to older individuals. It's fun to see them all getting together and see all the little pictures shared. That's all I got.
Well,
Greater Galesburg Day Parade this Saturday. The band will be in it, so please come out and cheer loud for us. And band can't. Oh no, I'll say that's in July. Okay, that's in July.
Sarah?
Week 3 of a 5-day bathroom remodel when you have one bathroom is so much fun. Just letting you know, don't ever do that. And I have been working on the procedures manual. I'm hoping to do a first read in August now. So if anybody would like to contribute, see anything, has any notes, now would be a good time to start to put that together. And I will give it to you as soon as I have it for you to start talking. But if anyone else has thoughts, has seen anything, read anything, or says, hey, is this in there? Now is your time to get to it before I put it together. Oh, all the notes from this, right there. Every meeting we have, I have more notes and things I have to add to it. It's never ending button.
Thank you.
75 pages long.
Yeah, thank you for all your work on that.
And thank you for taking the time.
2 things. If anything goes wrong with this contract, I'm gonna be the first one saying I told you so.
And he's
pointing at you right over there.
Second thing,
We're on the right side of the table.
I was actually originally on your side, Gary. Shoot.
Lindsay's last update brought up this whole, we're
Oh, no.
kind of considering the old bus garage. And personally, I think that's good because 2 things that either don't get talked about or they're shuffled aside are that old stadium and that building, both of which we're going to have to deal with. And as much as I might like that thing here, we could kill 3 birds with 1 stone by going there. And so I would suggest we give that very serious consideration before we decide to pull the trigger on this thing.
I think that is being given the most consideration. What do you think?
I think Gary's right, and that at some point we're gonna have to take those things down.
Yeah.
And
You know, the other thing that, I don't know who owns that one house sitting there. That house messes up that whole situation.
Lindsay asked me to buy it and demolish it.
Is
Is it for sale?
Could
She
be
did.
for a board meeting.
Yeah,
Is
she
anybody trying to buy it?
No,
That little,
it's not for sale is what I told her, but she said everything's for sale for a price. So if you want to try to buy it,
I'm just, that thing
Oh,
really
Gary,
messes
there
things
you
up.
go.
a little bit.
it does. I will say, Shoop had an idea quite a while ago about the racetrack needs bleachers, and we need those removed.
And we have
So
pictures.
we have kind of been in talks with them to see if they were willing to. I think there's some talk there.
Come and get 'em.
Yeah, kind of thing. I don't know how much money it will actually save us because you have to have liability insurance and all of that. But that is one good thing. And then you might have to talk on this a little bit more. She said basically where the bus garage is now, because of the diesel tanks, the whole site was condemned and basically it only needs to be where the diesel tanks are. So they're talking or working to get it so that it's not the whole site, it's just the area where the diesel tanks are, right?
Correct. Thing is, if it ends up there, that remediation will occur as part of the job. If it ends up here, that remediation job will still be there.
Right.
So, it's like, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, great point. Thank you. Nathan?
It was nice to go to the end of year celebration. Really cool to see all the positivity, all the tears from the retirement, and all the memories that people. I mean, I saw like scrapbooks that the teachers were giving the folks retiring and everything. It's just really neat to see the family come together, the Ramily come together. It was neat to see a bunch of board members here, a bunch of admin. It's just really cool. And then, of course, don't forget your summer projects. Take your compass with you and take photos. I think that's a really neat thing that they've come up with to try and take photos and keep everybody together all summer long, even though people are checking out. They can still enjoy their family time and send stuff back to just stay checked in. So it's really cool. It's a really, really fun environment.
He reminded me that to tie into the Galesburg days with the Grand Marshal.
Oh,
Here,
Artist
her name?
Cook?
Yes, thank you. That's awesome. I'm very excited about that.
Mrs.
She's
Cook.
retired artist Cook is going to Grand Marshal for the Greater Galesburg parade. We're all tying together.
Hey, my daughter's graduation party's the same day. I didn't realize it was Galesburg Day.
Alright. Okay. So I also attended the end of year luncheon. I ditto everything he said. To make it short and sweet. You guys have probably seen on Facebook, the foundation is attempting to do a really big fundraiser this year in November while I'm on vacation. The
Amazing
race. So save the date, check that out. I think that's it.
You're gonna be
Summer
Institute.
We finished with 3 days, Jane, or was it 4? Project-based learning. 3 days. The teachers came in.
I have no
We
idea.
had like
what you're talking
15. I think we had about 15 teachers participate in a project-based learning that we brought in a company from Grand Rapids.
Oh, 3 days. Yeah.
3 days,
Yeah.
paid for by a presenter, and the materials are paid for by Eden.
Very cool.
And really, really good feedback from there.
Do the teachers volunteer for that, or like, okay?
Yeah, we had from 2nd grade all the way through high school.
That's a pretty good turnout.
Can I say one last thing? I'm sorry. I was
Only this time.
Summer Institute is in Kalamazoo, and they're offering some good classes, and it's right at the Radisson. So, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if you can't,
Yes,
I
it's
said
a great opportunity.
I sent my email last week.
We will not be paying for hotel
The
rooms.
7th, 8th, and
Oh,
9th.
come on, I was getting present, please.
August 7th, 8th, and
Okay,
9th.
meeting adjourned at 7:55.
Yay!
Okay.
Thank you.